Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 12th episode of our VMware on VMware podcast series about digital transformation, where we speak with VMware IT thought leaders who share insights on how we achieve the digital transformation at VMware. I am Sarita Kar, IT Director at VMware and your host for this series. In the first few episodes, we talked about the organizational impact, the foundational decisions, and the SaaS mindset that is so essential for digital transformation. In the last episode, we went into the details of how VMware handles some of the change management. Today, we will talk about how VMware IT effectively harnessed VMware area operations for applications for seamless monitoring. And for this topic, I am thrilled to have Senior Manager Ramnathan Mayappan and Lead Applications Administrator Vikram Nattamai from the IT Application Operations team. Welcome, Ram and Vikram.
Hey, thanks Sarita for inviting us for this information podcast series.
So let's dive into the conversation straight away. Ram, so please tell us about the monitoring strategy at VMware given our SaaS transformation journey.
Sure, Sarita. So metrics are and data-driven, layer or technology agnostic, intelligent framework enabling engineers and management with a holistic view or visibility is the order of the day. That's what we need. It should help visualize a drop or improvement in user experience to anyone in IT so that we are better positioned to support our customers and make their navigation smooth. Whether it's a hardware or a OS or a container issue due to resource contention or an application issue due to the code itself, our monitoring strategy should enable us to look at it from the customer impact standpoint and help us address the problem. That is what sets us up toward the successful and ongoing SaaS transformation journey at VMware.
Thank you, Ram. And as an operations lead myself, I couldn't agree more. And what you said resonates so much, because it is so important to get a holistic visibility, because just a sum of the silos is never going to help. And we have found that out in the past. We've all been in that situation where we've had a production down scenario and every individual layer is working fine, but the transaction is still not going through. So turning it around, like you said, and tackling the problem from the customer impact standpoint will surely make the difference. So over to you, Vikram. How has monitoring evolved over the years in the IT industry?
Monitoring, it initially started off with simple network management protocols, SNMP. Devices used to send traps and we used to get alerts from it and we act on that. That's how it started off. Later, application performance monitoring, APMs we call it, that gave us a lot of insights into our services. But still it was a silo-based one. Like every application has to be configured with its own metric collections. With cloud, containerization and the DevOps, the monitoring became complex, and with that we got new tools to get more data, to build graphs, charts, reports and all. So some of them are Prometheus, Grafana, Elasticsearch. Full stack monitoring is the trend now, which makes use of all these tools and provides holistic visibility into our services. At VMware, we are currently working to detect and also automate responses. The responses it can be like as simple as call the support engineer automatically upon an incident has been identified, or even resolve the incident itself.
Wow, that is a whole mouthful of tools. And I know Vikram, he's a man who loves his tools. So in fact, he's always the first from our team to fiddle with the latest tool in the market and check out how we could all benefit from it. So tell me, Vikram, how did we go about implementing the monitoring strategy at VMware?
Our strategy at VMware always is aligned to the availability. So we use VMware ARIA operations for applications, which can integrate with varieties of services that includes like cloud and on-prem or operating systems, web services, data stores, and many more. Right. This enables us to have a single window into all our services and also to implement automated responses.
That is true, and availability is of course our key KPI, and that is always the one we put on top priority. And of course, we want to put in the automation also to make it error-free and secure. So I know Vikram is the tools guy, and Ram, over to you. What are the factors that you take into consideration when you decide on which tool or set of tools that we should be using for monitoring?
So there are lots of consideration. I'll try to put them in a nutshell at a high level. The tool or tool set should be able to integrate, fetch, process, and intelligently help us visualize anomalies and thereby enable us to identify user experience issues in real time or near real time at scale, and should be easy to use. It should cater to both the needs of technical folks and the management team and provide a rounded view of what they are interested in, with least customization and ability to handle huge volumes of data points and metrics. More importantly, with AI capabilities to help and forecast and predict the future in terms of application performance. That's what tools like VMware ARIA operations for applications excel in, enabling us to succeed in our transformation journey, Sarita.
So true, Ram. And this is the age of AI, and I'm so happy to hear that we are considering harnessing the power of AI to predict application performance. So coming down to the specifics, Vikram, tell us about the challenges that you or your team faced during the implementation of VMware ARIA applications, or rather VMware ARIA operations for applications for monitoring.
Yeah, before we go to that, right, I would like to touch base on the on-prem and the cloud implementation challenges. So the on-prem challenges are like, we have to do everything from the ground up. But when it comes to a cloud, it's all readily available for consumption. So that is that's what makes cloud services, which is very easy. And VMware ARIA operations for applications is a SaaS-based service which is readily available for anybody to use. Right, so it makes it easy for us to start using it as soon as we are ready. Right, so that is number one. And with respect to on-prem, the integration challenges that we had is mainly towards installing the agents, integrating with applications, and also like the connectivity and security. That is the key challenges that we faced. But the proxy model, right, which the ARIA operations are using, it helped a lot to reduce that burden. So having a proxy deployed in production infrastructure, non-prod infrastructure, in a cloud infrastructure, we basically were able to easily funnel the traffic from all the endpoints to the VMware ARIA operations for applications easily. So, and also securely also. That's one of the key things that I wanted to highlight, right? It also enabled us to set up the monitoring tools in a secure way. So apart from this, it was like other challenges like using different tools like Grafana or Telegraph. They are all like very, very easy to configure. So the documentation that VMware ARIA provides is straightforward and easy to use.
Great, thank you. Thanks for that information, Vikram, though it is a whole lot of technical jargon. And from all of it, what I feel is probably the SaaS-based model is better. It's easier if you just want to start off, but probably the more the on-prem solution is for those who have the skill set to go ahead and implement it. Would that be right, Vikram?
Yeah, cloud operations, cloud-based services can integrate with the VMware ARIA operations on the day one itself. It is very easy to get connected to. For those who are in on-prem, they have to build the connectivity infrastructure, which basically will enable us to route the traffic from the endpoints to the VMware ARIA operations. That is where the key challenges are.
Okay, sure. That's good to know. Thank you for that, Vikram. So moving forward, Ram, what do you think is the future of VMware area operations for applications? Like, where is it heading to? Tell us about your vision.
Yeah, glad to be wearing the hat of a fortune teller here. VMware ARIA operations for applications is certainly built for future in terms of enabling us to predict and proactively address issues of reliability of an application regardless of which platform or code base it's running off of. It would certainly be helpful if it can be integrated with other AI tools and frameworks to help us suggest sustainable automation solution to address anomalies instead of us having to figure out, design, and develop the automation solution by correlating the rolled out automations and tracking the success rate based on invocations and results of each of the iteration. To me, it can certainly help us there soon, get us to design and develop automation solutions with least manual interactions. That's my view. So, for example, instead of us troubleshooting and figuring out the solution when we know if the framework itself can learn from previous rollout or invocations of the solutions, and based on the success rate, if it's able to suggest this is what you have to do in order to solve these issues, that would be the greatest potential that VMware ARIA operations for applications would have, according to me. Isn't it interesting?
Absolutely, Ram. And the future does look bright for the VMware SaaS transformation journey and our solutions in this space. There is so much more to innovate, and I'm super stoked to see how we are harnessing our AI tools, so that we can correctly predict the application performance and even take steps accordingly. That's super awesome, and that brings us to the end of this episode. I certainly learned a lot today about VMware ARIA operations for applications. And for our listeners, VMware ARIA operations was formerly known as VMware Tanzu Observability. So thank you, Ram and Vikram. I absolutely loved having you here, and thank you for sharing your thoughts and vision.
Thank you, Sarita. Glad to be part of this wonderful series.
Same here, Sarita. Thank you so much for inviting us.
Absolutely. It's been a pleasure, Ram and Vikram. And that brings us to the end of our 12th episode of the VMware Runs on VMware Digital Transformation podcast. I'm sure our listeners have gained valuable insights about how we execute monitoring at VMware. We hope you liked this episode, and if you did, please drop a comment below. We'll be back with yet another IT digital transformation story in the next episode of this series. To listen to previous episodes, check out the podcast in the resources section of our VMware on VMware microsite, vmware.com/company/VMware on VMware.